Hi Stitchers! How is everybody doing? I had a kind of a stressful month and I think it's gonna stay like that for a while now, so this time I actually have quite a bit stitching. I'm not sure what will happen next month, but we will have to wait and see, because sometimes I think I haven't stitched anything and then I look at my pile and say, holy crap, that's a lot. How did I do that? So I'm sorry I just noticed my hand here. It's kind of hilarious. But anyway, so let's see what I have done this month. I tried to do, I don't want to call it a rotation because that doesn't quite work for me, but I kind of tried to do like stick for a week with something and then switch. It didn't quite work out that way because I had some life going on, and sometime I didn't actually get that much stitching that week, so it went a little over, and some other weeks I finished earlier, so but I didn't dislike it. I might try to stick with it. I will have to see how things goes with all this stuff that are going on, and for the same reason, being in a very kind of a stressful time of my life, I pulled out of a few Facebook group, and I will try to reduce the pressure and the stress that come from the hobby as much as I can. But I'm not leaving, don't worry, I'm here. And everything is okay. It's really nothing to worry about. It's just that I have a lot of stuff going on from work, and I have a guest here for 2 weeks. Things are all over the place, so I just need a little bit of more structure, so that's what I'm trying to do. Anyway, let's get started. So the first thing I have to show you, those aren't in the order I stitched them, I just piled them up here, so I'm just gonna show what happened. So the first thing I'm gonna show you is my freebie chatelaine. It's a former freebie, it's not freebie anymore, chatelaine called Karen Dragonfly. I started this when I was visiting Carrie in October, and then I never touched it again, and I picked this back up now because there was a newborn in the family, and I thought that I will turn it into a birth announcement. So I picked it up and I finished it. So this is being stitched on a 28 count in I think it's vintage blue. It's like a pale mottled blue that I had in my stash, and it has been stitched using old DMC and fibrous silk. I have some spun silk and some filament silks from her past collection of filament. And I used some white crystal beads that I had in my stash. Try to come closer, maybe you can see it better. So it pretty much was stitched for my stash, and it was a lot of fun, and it was fairly quick to do. And I'm pretty pleased with the result. I have to now decide how to add the information for the baby. I will probably use a simple font and finish it up and send it away. So I'm not going to show this again with information. I'm going to keep that private, but the pattern itself, it's finished. It's really nice, and if you want to approach chatelaine, this is a good way to do it. Those former freebies are now on sale on Martina website, chatelaine.de, and they cost like a $3-4. They're really cheap, and they are really small, but they give you a taste of what stitching a chatelaine and reading a chatelaine pattern is, and they're really nice. There are several, and they are all really beautiful, even if they're small. So the second thing I'm going to show you is my update on the Welcome Sampler by the Tempting Tangle. And Last time you saw it, I only had this top section finished, and in the week where I worked on it, I added the W, the E, the L, and part of the second L. Of course, that part is gonna say welcome, and I substituted the cross stitch here with the dark green beads that I had in my stash, and I'm pretty pleased the way it looks. This is stitched on a 2/2 on a 24 count. I think it's some sort of burlap. As I said before, I don't know. It was in my stash. I have no idea. I lost the tag, so I don't know. But I like the way this is working out. And I have another part to stitch now, and I'll probably pick it up again soon. So that's it for the welcome sal from Tempting Tangle. You can still join this, I believe. There is a group on Facebook that is exactly called Tempting Tangle welcome sal. So that was that one. So the next thing I worked on is my season sampler by the Stitch Specialist Yahoo group. And last time you saw it, I was about here. I finished all the deer and this section, and this time I added this section here with the leaves and the nuts. The word in English for this escaped me right now. I know it has a specific word, but I'm sorry, I can't think of it. Anyway, this is really nice. And the next section just came out, and I can't wait to stitch it because it's absolutely adorable. This is stitched on a 32 count Lugana by Chromatic Alchemy in the colorway Dune. And yeah, that's it. So this was a kind of a quick section. Next one is a little bit wider. We'll see. I think I will pick it up soon. So next thing I have been working on was finally my World Travel bookshelf. This is a designed by Amy Stewart and is being charted by Heaven and Heart Design. And last time you saw it, I think I was about here, a little bit past the Eiffel Tower, and I stitched, I finished a page and I stitched, I think, half of the next one. So pretty much the amount of almost a page, I believe. I'm sorry, I haven't kept track, but you know, I'm never a very precise stitcher. Just, you know, here it is, have a look. I don't keep track, but yeah, I did about a page, and I have half of a page to finish. Next one will be over here. So here it is. I'm not gonna unroll the whole thing until I will have finished the row. This row is going a lot slower than the other two went because I kind of added a few whips, as you know, and of course, you know, my time is limited, and I try to work on everything, but of course this way it goes a little slower, but that doesn't mean it's not fun. It's I'm really liking actually the variety. So this is World Travel. The next project I worked was a new start. I don't remember if I showed you the fabric last time, but anyway, finally I was able to have my fabric to start the Northern Expression Needlework Peacock Band Sampler, and so I had to start it. So this is how much I have done so far. This was about a week of work. It's 2 band, and the fabric doesn't show up at all there is an awful light today, but this was a hand dyed, custom dyed for me by Marika at Crafty Bit Creation. It's a 36 count Swagger linen. I don't remember what they call it, maybe Edinburgh. But anyway, the 36 count. And it's stitched with the fiber ratios spun silk that was created for this project. I bought the thread pack. And this is absolutely a lot of fun. And I can't wait to get back to it. I'm gonna take my time to do it because it takes a little bit of concentration to do it, and but it's lovely. And I have been using invisible thread to attach the beads, and that's the first time I used invisible thread, and I have to say that I really love invisible thread because it's invisible, but at the same time I really hate it. Guess why? Because it's invisible. You can't see it. So the effect is lovely. I think I will keep using it in this specific project, but yeah, invisible. Hard to see, guys. Something that's called invisible, you're not gonna see it. But anyway, here is my progress, and this has a ton of beads, and it doesn't really show up, but you have seen this many times from other stitchers, so you know how it looks like. Anyway, that was my update for Peacock Band Sampler by Northern Expression Needleworker. And the last project I worked on for cross stitch in last month was is, because I'm not done, the Prairie Schooler Alphabet. Yeah, I made peace with this. I actually the last week or so, I was so tired and stressed out, and so I just, you know, didn't have the right state of mind to stitch on a complicated piece. So this has actually been my friend this past week, because it's a lot easier to stitch. It has few color, it doesn't have any specialty stitches, and still looks beautiful. And this is the progress I've done in about a week, a little more over a week, I think. And it's the block E for embroidery. And I'm hoping to be able to finish it today, or maybe in the next day or so. I'm gonna keep working on this until I finish this block, because as I said, I have a guest in the house, and she will be here for until halfway past next week. And between that, between work and a bunch of personal appointment I'm having in this period, this is good for me now, because it's something I can pick up and stitch even if I'm tired, or, you know, I have a little bit of time. So I want to finish the block before I move on to the next project. So this was the Prairie Schooler. Oh, I forgot to say, this is stitched 1/1 full cross on a 28 count. I believe it's Monaco, but I'm not sure. It was in my stash, and yeah, that's all the information I have on this. Okay, so the last whip I worked in the month of October was actually my crochet. And in October, the end of October and the beginning of November, we went on a trip to Prague, and we found a very super deal on the return flight, which cost us 19 euros each. But we couldn't find a cheap flight to get there, so I found a bus. So I found a bus for like 50 bucks. And it took us there fine, but the bus trip in total was like 16 hours. We went from Venice to Munich in Germany, and then we changed over a different bus, and we from Munich to Prague. So the whole thing took 16 hours. And I slept pretty good during the night. We started out at night from Venice, but then from when we changed bus, it was daytime. So I was awake, and so I took advantage of it, and I finished the crochet part of my peacock tail bag. This is a free pattern, and it's on Lila Borg blog. I will try to remember to link it down below. I have linked it in previous videos, so you can find it there too. And I crocheted this part here. That's the top of the bag. I'm sorry, you can hear my wash machine. Actually, I'm gonna pause this for a second. Sorry about that. So I finished the part, the top part. Now all it's left is the little tab here that will hold the key ring, and then I have to work on the lining, but I don't have the time to do that right now. I don't have a spot for sewing. I have a sewing machine, but I have to use it here on the dining room table, and I need to be home with peace and quiet and time to spare to be able to do that. Otherwise I have to move everything away, and it's a mess. I don't have a crafting space, our apartment is very small. We pretty much have the living area is pretty much one room, and that's it. So when I have to work on sewing, I take over the entire table, and it's not so it complicated to do. But I'm pretty proud of the result, and I'm trying to decide what I want to do with the strap, if I want to buy a leather one or if I want to do a crochet one. I found a link to a site that show you how to do a twisted, like a tube, a crochet tube that twists, and I should make sure the strap doesn't become, that after a while you're wearing your bag at knee level. I might try that. We will have some travel in the month of December, so that would be a good thing to bring along, but I haven't decided yet, and I guess you will have to wait next time to find out what I did. So that's it for all my work in progress. The last thing I have to show you in this video is some stash acquisition. A couple of months ago, I won a giveaway by Talia. Her channel is covered in cat hair, and the giveaway was a $25 gift certificate in a shop of my choice. And I went and looked, and I finally decided that I could make my money go a longer way if I stick with the Stitching Bit and Bob's website. I know it's usually it takes a long time, but I wasn't in any hurry. I'm not starting any of this in the near future, so I went around and looked for the pattern I really wanted, and that was the one that would give me the best deal. So I went for it, and I got the two of the pattern that were at the top of my wish list. So I want to thank you, Talia, so much for the awesome opportunity, and I'm proud to finally show what her very generous giveaway got me. So the first thing I bought is Rosewood Manor and a Forest Grew. A lot of people are stitching this or are going to start stitching this in the near future. I really loved, always loved the pattern, and I wanted to stitch it for all the different trees and all the little critters and stuff. Unfortunately, I couldn't get past the verse, so but at some point I finally said, I thought, whoa, I don't have to stitch the verse. I can stitch anything in there. So I decided that when I will start this will become my wedding announcement sampler, and what I will put in the middle here will be our wedding information and maybe something that is significant for us. And the rest is going to be stitched as it is with the code for DMC. And I really love this pattern. It's beautiful, and I can't wait to start it, but I have to hold on because I got too much going on for myself. So this is the first thing I bought. The second thing I bought is a pattern by Dinky Dye Design, and it's the Wave Dancer. Sorry for the glare. I see, there it is. Yeah, I only bought the pattern. I'm probably going to substitute the thread with something in my stash. And this has been in my wish list for a long time, together with the Four Seasons. But the Four Seasons, even if they are really beautiful, most of them have too much pink in the design for my liking, even if I do love the design. So I'm not gonna buy those until I come up with the idea of how to do, you know, what thread and how to stitch it. But this one I really wanted to try it, and it's really pretty. So this is the second pattern I bought. And the third one, it wasn't in my wish list, but when I saw it, it was heavily discounted. I think it was in the clearance. And it's a pattern by Shakespeare's Peddler. Sorry, pronunciation awful. Shakespeare's Peddler. And the name of the pattern is Antique Locks and Keys. And this is how it looks like. And I really like the look of it, and I really like all the old key and with this rusty looking. So when I saw it, I decided that was something I would want to stitch, and so I think it was $1 or $2. I picked it up. And then I got some Peacemaker 28 count needle, 28 needles, which is my favorite brand for 28 needle. I use Marika needle with 26, but when I need 28, this is the one I go for, and I can't find them in Italy, so as I was shopping, I added to my cart. And the last thing I bought is this thing. I think I showed it before. It's one of the little tools I use when cross-stitching. It's called the Starred Tailor by Compass Stitch. And what it is, it's a tacker. Heaven and Heart makes some similar one, but they are very, very expensive. This only cost a few bucks. And it's very useful for when you have to tack little tails of floss, or just make your a little tail go a longer way when you have to do just one stitch before you finish the color and you just don't have enough for the needle to make it. This one is what you need to do that, and I use this all the time, and I have I bought a spare just in case, because again, I can't find it here, so it was a good idea to add it to the package as I was having it shipped from the US. So this was what I